You are on, sir.
Thank you very much. All right, good afternoon. My name is Chris Grazer. I'm the liquor license hearing officer, at least for now. We are here on liquor license applications. So the process is that I will ask the city clerk to introduce the application. I'll ask the applicant or the applicant's representative to be sworn in by the clerk. And then any questions I have, I will ask. I have reviewed the full packet. There's no need to repeat anything that's in there. Applicant also does not have the burden of proof. I will then allow any interested parties to make comments, make objections, ask questions, and then the applicant will have an opportunity to respond to that. After that, I will issue proposed written findings and conclusions, and that will go to the governing body for consideration, and the clerk can let you know when that's going to happen. With that, I will call the first application request from Markham Blankstein and Bottle LLC. Madam Clerk.
Yes, the first item we are hearing is item 2A. The purpose of this public hearing is to discuss a request from Markham Blankstein and Bottle LLC located at 1722 St. Michael's Drive, Suite F, Santa Fe, New Mexico 87501 for the following. Item 1 is consideration of a waiver pursuant to State Statute 60-6B- 10-0 NMSA 1978, the consideration of a waiver of the 300-foot location restriction to allow the sale of alcohol at Leo's at 1722 St. Michael's Drive, Suite F, Santa Fe, New Mexico, which is within 300 feet of Milagro Middle School, located at 1720 Llano Street in Santa Fe. And then if it's okay with you, I'll just go ahead and note that item number, or do you want me to do one and then we'll wait for item number 2?
I would think go ahead and do both of them at the same time.
Okay, perfect. Item 2 is if the waiver of the 300-foot location restriction is granted, consideration of a request for a restaurant beer and wine liquor license with on-premise consumption only to be located at Leo's at 1722 St. Michael's Drive, Suite F in Santa Fe.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Could I have the applicant identify yourself and be sworn in by the clerk, please?
Elizabeth Blankstein. I am the sole owner of Markham Blankstein and Bottle LLC, DBA Liu Restaurant.
Thank you.
And then if I can just have you repeat, I'll give you the slide, but if you state your name and your full address, and then do you solemnly declare and affirm that the testimony you have in reference to the items you're testifying to shall be the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalties of perjury?
Oh, yes. My name is Elizabeth Blankstein, and our operating address is 1722 St. Michael's Drive, Suite F, in Santa Fe, New Mexico, 87505. And I swear that's the truth.
Thank you.
Right, close enough. Ms. Blankstein, do you agree with the staff's proposed condition that as a condition of doing business in the city, staff is recommending that it be noted that the applicant is required to comply with all the city's ordinances?
Yes.
Thank you. Typically not a controversial one. Is there anything you want to add to the application at this time?
No.
Okay. So now I'll take public comments testimony. I see Mr. Granada is present, so I assume you're the one we'll hear from next.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hearing Officer. My name is Joshua Granada.
Let me interrupt you, Mr. Granada. Since you are an attorney appearing pursuant to your oath of office, we don't need to swear you in.
Okay, thank
Go
you.
ahead, though.
And I am the general counsel for Santa Fe Public Schools. I just wanted to give some brief comments regarding this application for the liquor license.
Please do.
That Miss Blankstein reached out to Santa Fe Public Schools, I guess on the direction of the city about seeking the district's position with respect to the liquor license. The school district has a policy in which if there's a special event, the school board will not take a position with respect to special event liquor licenses. And so I think that's what the city was asking for, the district's perspective with respect to that type of a situation. But in my understanding of this application, it's for a permanent liquor license. And so this matter hasn't been brought to the attention of the school board. And so at this point in time, the school board really hasn't had an opportunity to discuss this matter one way or the other. And so I just wanted to let you know that that's really the position of the school district at this point in time.
Thank you, Mr. Granata. When would the next opportunity for the board to have that discussion be?
Well, we have a school board meeting on the 17th, but the agenda's already set. The matter could be discussed at the 17th board meeting, but they wouldn't be able to take action. The next board meeting would be in August.
Okay. And Ms. Bustos, I assume this is going to city council before August?
Yes, Mr. Grazier, it is scheduled to be on the June 30th governing body agenda.
Okay. And I guess I'm still a little unclear. I'm not even sure who this is a question to, but so at this point, has Santa Fe Public Schools been officially notified of the specific request from the applicant?
I don't know if official is the correct word. I mean, we have been noticed in terms of my office has reached out to Ms. Blankstein and try to figure out what's going on. But in terms of the school board being notified, I don't believe that's the case.
Okay.
And so I've discussed this matter with the superintendent, and she asked that I appear today to kind of let you guys know what the district's perspective is. But the school board itself isn't aware as a whole body. Perhaps maybe the president might know, but the board itself doesn't. They haven't been put on notice.
Okay. All right. I appreciate that, Mr. Granata. That's helpful.
Mr. Grazier, I
Yes.
would like to note on that, it is true for special event dispensary permits. Usually the public schools does send a letter or acknowledgement. In this case, because it was a permanent, I think it was recommended from staff within my office that the applicant do the same. However, I don't know where the present to the school board where that came into play, even with the special event permits. And if I'm incorrect on behalf of the public schools, please let me know. But I believe there's just usually a letter of support. It doesn't actually go in front of the full school board. So I don't know where that came from. It's not a requirement. I did reach out to the state alcoholic beverage control department, and we think that there might have just been kind of a rolling confusion on that maybe the direction was to get a letter of either support or opposition, but then somehow it turned into presenting to the public school board, which to my knowledge, I don't know of an applicant that has done that in the past. And Geraldine can probably weigh in on more historical practice for that, or Mr. Granata, if you have information on that. But I think that would have been the first time, to my knowledge, that the public school board would have been asked to hear something of that nature.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Bustos, and I, certainly leave it to to Mr. Granada and his client, how they would review any such request. Let me return to Ms. Blankstein. Can you let me know what steps you would taken to notify the school board and or request approval at this point?
So we were notified by the City of Santa Fe clerk last Monday. The whole process was, we were scheduled to have our hearing last Monday, and we never heard any information on when we would be invited to a Zoom meeting, whether it's virtual. So we reached out to the city clerk, and since I wasn't able to get through a call at the time, I went to the website on Santa Fe's website to look at the bulletin board to see what was on schedule. And I realized that our restaurant wasn't listed. And this was a few hours before 4 p.m. last Monday. So we called and emailed Xavier at the city clerk. And then he on last Monday let us know that we were actually delayed, and now our hearing was not going to happen last Monday, and that the GIS department from Santa Fe realized that there was an error and that we're actually 300 feet. So we found out about this last Monday, and immediately, we had Xavier provide us a number to call the public school board, because we weren't sure if we were supposed to call Milagros Middle School's president, the public school. We weren't exactly sure who we were supposed to contact. So he gave us a phone number. We called and we spoke to Amanda. I believe that was a superintendent. And then we spoke about the situation. I explained to her what was going on. And initially, I think from my initial voicemail, she thought it was a one-time event. But regardless, afterwards, her and I had extended conversations between Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And during those 3 days, she had reached out to the city of Santa Fe to find out exactly what was going on. And she got back to us. And she also let me know right away that, for something that's a permanent, we were required to be presented in front of the school board, and that they do not meet until the 17th. And we have reached out to the city of Santa Fe regarding this information as well, to have a better understanding of what was going on. And Christine and I spoke later on that week to kind of, to move forward with this hearing, and here we are. So we have been in contact. I'm not able to be presented in front of the school board because they don't meet until the 17th. And this is kind of the dilemma we're in at the moment.
All right, understood. I appreciate it.
Mr. Hearing Officer,
Go ahead, Mr. Granada.
if I can add maybe something that might help this process. We put a placeholder on the agenda for discussion of this matter for the 17th, and it looks like that's still on our agenda. So we would be able to discuss the board's position with respect to this liquor license at the 17th board meeting.
Oh, excellent. Thank you. Glad to hear that.
And I guess just to kind of give you some better understanding of how this works procedurally, in terms of when there's a special event, ultimately the district has discretion to go ahead and act on those special events through the board's policy. And we don't need to wait and hear what the board's position is, because they've already expressed their position through the board policy. Whereas this is a bit different, and so I can't speak for the board. That's why it would need to go to the board in order for them to weigh in.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. That's helpful. Is there anything else from the applicant, or do you want to respond in any other way or add anything else to the record?
This really took us by surprise, because from what we were able to look up on Google Maps or anywhere online, we didn't find that we were 300 feet within 300 feet. So when we first heard about this last Monday, we disputed the distance, that we're not within 300 feet. That's kind of how this conversation started. But
Yep.
I
might have guessed it.
We really all we really care about is we just really want to move forward. I'm the sole owner of this restaurant. I have a small fine dining. We have 5 tables inside. We're not open during the day. You know, it's not in effect to the school at all. And again, we're a small fine dining restaurant. You know, we have 5 tables inside. It's very small. I do all the cooking. I have a couple staff on. You know, it's a very small and intimate place.
Understood. Yeah, I was gonna say, you know, I might have guessed it was more than 300 feet, but when you're going from right away line to property line,
Yeah,
That
and
can
you
happen.
know, when I'm looking at the graphic, it looks like, you know, it's pointing to an empty space, which I know where the post office is and the middle school, there's a parking lot and there's like a plot of empty land. And the way the arrow is directed, you know, there's no way a person's gonna walk through a building. They have to walk around the building. So like all of that should matter. And we're definitely not 300 feet. And it depends on, you know, the very corner of a plot of land that may or may not be the school. It's kind of, you know, yeah.
I understand. I mean, I have a middle schooler and I know they're very resourceful, but I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate the testimony and explanations all around. That's helpful. My requirements to get a written order out within 7 days. I'll typically try to do that sooner than that. And that's all we have on the agenda, right? Okay,
Pretty sure that is all on the agenda.
thank you very much. Thank you all for coming. We'll close the hearing and we'll see you all next Monday.
Thank you.